And that's largely true.
Yeah, yeah. I think the biggest surprise for everybody was just how vulnerable the consumer of information was to distraction. Like, I think there may have been assumptions that people were going to enjoy the internet and maintain their relationship with local news. Meanwhile, the back end, as we know, ad models and everything else just completely got gutted from local news as a business. And it's got scarfed up by all the technology, search engines and whatnot. And so when we got to a certain point, the business model of local news was completely changed, but we just kept pretending like it hadn't, strangely.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, on our end, as a publisher that owns a local news publishing company, it's I can tell you that the ad model, which is what has funded all news essentially to this point, online and in print, um, had collapsed certainly for print. And then what you saw, because that's the only place where news is local, unless it's like TV or something like that, uh, you just started seeing fewer and fewer communities with a local news source. And because you can't generate enough audience to sell enough ads on the internet to make enough money to have reporters. So, I mean, that ad model breaks, and now you have no local journalists doing any local journalism. And then the incentive model on the internet is largest audience possible. And then once you have the largest audience possible, you just start leaning on that lever of eyeballs because that's what you're going to get from Shopify and DoorDash and all of these ad deals that you get again and again and again. But and while you make a lot of money that way as an individual, your audience has to be damn near global to be among the richest YouTubers or reporters or whatever. And so like where does that leave local news? And it leaves it with hundreds of local newspapers or local news online sites closing. And so then what do people do whenever they can't go to their city council meetings or their water board meetings or their county board of supervisor meetings? Like it just leaves them completely out of the loop. And the thing is, the politicians know that.
Yeah, they do now. It's not an accident.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, there's a really punishing reality as to how that played out. If most of the consumers really want to see national stories, and they sort of get pulled away by all the distraction that that means, and then the new local news is having a hard time making it work with just local coverage, then it kind of opens the door for some really sinister local uh, politicians to just to play to that national narrative, even if it makes zero sense to the local population. Right? If it's something that's going on the other side of the country, but I'm going to connect it to the school board here and get that extra 70 votes that some of these races need, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now they're on the sort of on the bike. They got to pedal that now full time. And so it's really created some really bad outcomes in both local news, but also local politics.